Imagine traveling to a destination where the months and years don't match up with what we know today. This might sound far-fetched, but this is the reality for some countries as they do not use the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is internationally accepted as the civil calendar by most countries. There are a handful of countries that use a modified version of the Gregorian calendar. However, there are 4 countries that don't use the Gregorian calendar. First, it is important to know that there are 3 main types of calendars. 1. Lunar calendar. A lunar calendar tracks time using the monthly cycles of the moon's phases. It measures the time between one new moon to the next. 2. Solar calendar. Based on the time it takes for Earth to complete one revolution around the Sun. It measures the time between vernal equinoxes. 3. Lunisolar calendar. A lunisolar calendar uses both the moon phases and the solar year to track time. Lunar year versus solar year. What are the major differences? Lunar year. 1. 354 days in the year. 2. There are 12 months in a year. 3. An extra month every 3 years. 4. Measured by the time it takes for the moon to go through each of its phases: new moon, half moon, and full moon. Solar year. 1. 365 days in a year. 2. 12 months in a year. 3. Measured by the time it takes Earth to complete one revolution around the Sun. 4. An extra day in February every 4 years. Most countries and religions around the world use the solar year calendar. The exception is the Hijri and Jewish calendars, which are both lunar-based, using the cycle of the moon. The Gregorian calendar. As stated earlier, the vast majority of the world uses the Gregorian calendar, which was instituted by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582. Prior to the adoption of the Gregorian calendar, the Julian calendar was the predominant calendar in Europe. Countries that don't use the Gregorian calendar. 1. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the few countries in the world that has its own calendar. The Orthodox Tewahedo Church, where the Ethiopian calendar originated, influenced its structure and existence. Similar to the Coptic Egyptian calendar, the Ethiopian calendar includes 13 months, 12 of which have 30 days, and one intercalary month at the end of the year named Pigum, which in Greek means lost days. In leap years, this last month has 5 or 6 days. The Ethiopian calendar also has 365 days yearly and 366 days in leap years, which occur every 4 years. The Ethiopian New Year begins on September 11th or September 12th during the leap years. The year is calculated based on the date of the Annunciation of Jesus, not his birth. As a result, the Ethiopian calendar is 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar year. 2. Iran. Iran uses the solar Hijri calendar, which is also known as the Persian or the Jalali calendar. The solar Hijri calendar has been Iran's official calendar since 1925. The Prophet Muhammad's flight from Mecca to Medina, Hijrat, in 622 was chosen as the beginning of the Islamic calendar. The Persian calendar has 12 months, each month with 31 or 30 days, except for the last month of Esfand, which has 29 or 30 days, depending on whether or not it's a leap year. Each of the 12 months corresponds with a zodiac sign. Their names are the same as ancient Zoroastrian names from the Zoroastrian calendar. Nowruz, or the Persian New Year, occurs on March 21st and is celebrated for 2 weeks. It also celebrates the beginning of spring. 3. Afghanistan. Similar to Iran, Afghanistan also uses the solar Hijri calendar, which was introduced in 1957. National holidays like Independence Day and cultural holidays like Nowruz, New Year's Day, are based on the solar Hijri calendar. However, religious Islamic holidays like Eid al-Fitr are celebrated according to the lunar Hijri calendar, also known as the Islamic calendar. Both calendars start with 622 AD, the year when Prophet Muhammad made his hijra, migration, from Mecca to Medina. The names of the months in the solar Hijri calendar correspond to the signs of the zodiac. 4. Nepal. The Bikram Sambat B.S. or the Vikrami calendar is the Nepalese national calendar traditionally used on the Indian subcontinent. It is a lunar calendar based on ancient Hindu tradition. The Nepali calendar is approximately 56 years ahead of the Gregorian calendar, and the Nepalese New Year occurs in mid-April. In the Gregorian calendar, the days of the month are fixed, whereas in the Nepali calendar, it varies from year to year and can have up to 32 days in a month. The Vikrami calendar, mostly used by the newer community, is also used alongside the Nepal Sambat calendar. Be sure to check your dates right when sending out postcards by double-checking the calendar. One wrong move, and you could be wishing someone a late Happy New Year.